Intermediate guitarists, I want you to tell me this. What do all of these guitar players have in common? So we've got Eddie Van Halen here, one of the greatest to ever pick up the instrument. Completely changed what was possible on the guitar. And then we've got another guy that did the same thing before him, Jimi Hendrix. Again, they share something in common, although their music sounds quite different from each other, right? You wouldn't be confused listening to Jimi Hendrix thinking you're listening to Eddie Van Halen. They're all doing something different, but they share something in common. And again, Jimmy Page. He wrote different music from the previous two. But again, they're doing something that allows them to make that great music. And what do you think that is? Again, Dave Mustaine. Again, brilliant guitarist. A completely different genre from the past three. But they share something in common. What do you think that is? Again, John Mayer, everyone's trying to sound like this guy. People love him. People love to listen to his music and how he plays guitar. People are really impressed by it. And what do you think they're impressed by? Well, I'll tell you the answer. What all of these guys share in common is rhythm. Rhythm guitar. It's not a flashy subject, but rhythm is actually what makes you listenable as a musician. And it turns out that getting better as a rhythm guitarist also increases your skills and ability to become a better lead guitarist. Unfortunately, the inverse is not true, and I found out the hard way. I was given a gig once to play for a function band, and we were doing a rehearsal for this song. And I'm playing the chords, I'm playing over the lead sheet that he gave me, I'm doing what I think he wants. I think, I'll try and sound impressive here. I'm going to try and sound cool on my guitar, right? And I play all these kind of licks and stuff over the top of chords as I'm doing it. I'm trying to fill out the sound, and I'm trying to impress people with my guitar playing, saying, I can do all this cool stuff. I can do these flashy licks and these phrases. And guess what? The musical director came up to me after the rehearsal, after that song even, and he said to me, "What were you doing? You ruined the song. You were overplaying. You made it sound worse with all these flashy phrases and licks, right? It was my ego was getting in the way. I was doing what I wanted to do and what I thought sounded cool, but that's not musical. It's not what makes music sound good. What makes music sound good is your ability to play rhythm, right? Because fundamentally, music is rhythmic. Again, this is how I got good at guitar. My name is Fabian Dolan. If you want to become advanced without having to pay for a degree, check the link in the description. You can make good music, you just don't know how to yet. So if you want to stop annoying your neighbours with your guitar playing and make them give you compliments, you get to work with me one-on-one. We'll figure out how to make you advanced. Check the link below in the description. And also, if at any point you have any questions during this video, be sure to message me on Instagram over here. And again, I've been in your shoes before. I used to be an intermediate guitar player just like you. And I was embarrassed with my playing. I didn't really know what I was doing. All I knew how to do was play to a pentatonic scale. And you can tell it doesn't sound very good. But I did manage to get advanced. I taught myself and I improved my playing a lot. And again, good rhythm, right? You can hear me. I'm clicking in with the band. I'm playing to the drums and the bass. It's perfectly on the dot with the band. And it sounds good. It's listenable. This is what makes it listenable. It's rhythm. So again, I want to give you a bit of hope and inspiration when you're watching this video. I've been in your shoes. I know how to get out of them. And you don't need to get a university degree like I did. So, without rhythm, music is just ambient noise. Music with no rhythm is ambient, right? It's stuff we have in the background that's nice and calming and relaxing. But it's not really something that we share with other people. It's very personal. We just kind of use it to study or something like that, right? There's no kind of energy behind it. What we want with music is to create some energy that we can share with people, right? People dance to rhythm. They dance to a beat. They don't dance to nice melodies or harmonies, right? People are in a room together, and when you're playing music, they are dancing, they're tapping their foot and enjoying themselves with other people. There's a community around this, right? There's something to share. And you have to share a beat to get people involved. This is where the energy of music comes from. It's from rhythm. Rhythm is the most fundamental and important aspect of music. Music fundamentally is a piece of time that we get to decorate. That's a quote I stole from Frank Zappa, and it's true. Rhythm is what comes first in music. Rhythm is the piece of time. And then we decorate that with melody and harmony. That's what we use to spice up time, right? We get a choice over what notes we choose to play on, what chords we want to spice up rhythm. But fundamentally, rhythm comes first. Without the rhythm, it's just ambient background music, which might be nice in like a film score or to relax or study to, but it's not something that's like energetic, that gets you hyped, that gets a community of people dancing together, right? We need the rhythm in order to do that. And again, that's thought-provoking. But the point I'm trying to get across here, what I want you to get across from this video, is that rhythm is more important than any other aspect of music. So we do these things like we practice these cool, flashy phrases and licks, but we don't know how to play rhythmically. And you can get away with playing the wrong note at the right time. We've all heard this before, like this kind of jazz idea that you can get away with playing a wrong note. There's no such thing as a wrong note, right? We've heard this idea. It's kind of trite. But you'll never be able to get away with playing the right note at the wrong time. If you play a note that doesn't fit in time, i.e. it's not connected to the rhythm section, you're out of time with the bass player and the drummer, you're always going to sound bad. You can play a note that isn't the right melody or isn't in key with the harmony on beat with the drummer and the bassist, and it will sound good. You can get away with that. You can't do the opposite where you play in the right harmony, the right melody, but it's not in beat with the drummer and the bassist. You cannot get away with that. You'll sound sloppy and an amateur if you do that. So why as guitarists do we never make an effort to get good at this? It's the most important aspect of music, but we kind of overlook it quite a bit. It's not really taught to us that much, especially when we're learning through YouTube lessons. No one prioritizes, hey, you need to get good at rhythm in order to be good at guitar. They're just telling you how to play a piece of music. It's kind of expected that you're already good at rhythm, but likely if you were like me, that wasn't the case. You struggled with this, and you didn't know that it was holding you back. And again, we practice these flashy licks and phrases. We try and learn cool songs to try and impress people. But what really impresses people is being able to stay on beat. That's what makes you sound musical and makes you sound listenable. And the problem is that when we learn riffs and phrases, we watch these YouTube tutorials on how to play this, how to play like that, or whatever, how to play this song. We never practice to a rhythmic context. What do I mean by a rhythmic context? A rhythmic context is the rhythm section, i.e. a bass player and a drummer playing for you. Now, if you're in a band, you play to the bassist and the drummer. But when we're practicing, they're not around. So we need to have a beat to play to. And be honest with yourself. When you practice, you do not play to a beat. You just kind of figure out how to play the melody on the instrument, and you kind of sort of try and get the rhythm right, but you're not playing to a metronome. You're probably not playing to a metronome, most likely. I know we all skip this as guitarists. This is something we're all guilty of, especially in the intermediate stage. You don't know this is a problem yet. So we need to be practicing to a rhythmic context. And again, the solution to this is going to 10 times your guitar progress. You're going to be so much better. You're going to be listenable. You're going to be able to start posting videos and getting good responses from people. People won't be saying, oh mate, you need to be working on this. This is a good effort, but like it's still not that kind of good yet. You're going to be getting results with this. And again, if you really want to improve, you have to make me a promise. If you're watching this video, you have to promise this to me. I want you to get your guitar in your hand and make sure you follow along with this. This is an educational channel. If you want to improve at the instrument, you're going to have to promise me this. Otherwise, I don't want you watching, right? You're not going to be able to learn anything. I want people to be getting better through watching this content. So, first thing you have to do, grab your guitar, play Smoke on the Water, right? Everyone knows how to do that. I want you to pause the video, play that. Alright, simple enough? Cool, you've done it. Now, whenever we play from now on, we're going to tap our foot. You probably can't hear this in the video, but we're going to tap like... We're going to be the metronome. We're going to create that pulse. And I want you to play that same riff whilst tapping your foot to the beat. Right, so it should sound like this. again, I want you tapping your foot. And it's okay if you can't do it really fast. Start slow. Start with a slow pulse. But what you have to be doing is tapping your foot and consistently staying in time. This is really important. You need to develop your own sense of time feel, right? And again, this is going to humble you in the beginning. You're most likely not going to be good at it. You're going to be stumbling all over the place. You're going to be falling apart. But just with a bit of practice, you're going to get better. And again, you're going to struggle playing the most basic riffs. You're going to think, oh yeah, Smoke in the Water is easy for me. I can do this without tapping. I don't need to focus on this. But you're going to realize that, oh, I actually don't know how to play like syncopated stuff. It's actually really hard for me to play on beat and do all these kind of intricate details. I thought this was easy, but it turns out it's not, because I actually can't provide rhythm to this, and I can't play it by myself with a steady rhythm going. You realize that you're not actually as good as you thought you were. And to prove that you are a good guitarist and that you're getting better, you need to be able to tap your foot, keep a steady rhythm going, right? And be able to play these musical ideas at the same time. You need to provide that rhythm, and then you need to be able to decorate it with your hands and play those melodies and harmonies on the guitar. Again, the rhythm is the most important aspect. And it's likely that if you can't do this, you probably never sounded good with these simple riffs in the first place. They're probably sloppy and quite messy. But being able to do this, tapping your foot, is going to make you make the simplest things sound so much more listenable. And again, the end result of this sounds something like this. So if you want to be able to improvise like this and play like this guy, everyone loves John Mayer, or at least most people do. And people are always searching for how to sound like him. You need to be good at rhythm first, and then you're going to be able to play ideas like this when you improvise.
Third. We're bending to it.
You can hear he's tapping his foot. You can hear in the background. You can also see in the video here, the lower corner, he's tapping his foot up and down as he's playing. You need to be doing this while you practice. And again, practice it on simple riffs first. And eventually, once you get good at that, you can incorporate it into your own playing. Start improvising. But make sure whenever you pick up the guitar, you're tapping your foot along to a beat. There needs to be a rhythm and a pulse in order for it to be music. If there's no rhythm, there's no music. There's no good energy. And we need to make good music for people, right? That's what we're here to do on the guitar. It's to sound good, to sound musical. And this is why you're not sounding musical yet. We need to be able to have good rhythm. Just like the greatest guitarist that I showed you at the start of the video. If we want to be even close to them, it's the rhythm that we got to get good at first. And then the lead playing is naturally going to follow that, and is naturally going to improve, because we're going to be playing on time. And again, we need to play it inside that rhythmic context. So again, we don't always have the luxury of having a bassist and a drummer to always be by our side and always be playing music for us. We need to be able to provide that context for ourselves, and that comes from tapping our foot along to the beat. And again, if not, we'd be playing to a backing track, or the context would be provided by a bass and drum. But like I said, that is not always a luxury that we have. By ourselves, we need to be able to provide our own rhythmic context. And again, if you can't do this with your foot yet, if this is too challenging, start slowly with a metronome. But a metronome, we're going to have to ditch that eventually, because we don't want to sound like a robot. A metronome is very precise. It's extremely precise. But you'll hear these greatest guitar players, especially someone like Jimi Hendrix. He was kind of flowing, and the tempo was weaving up and down slowly, and it sounded human. If we play exactly on the dot, it will still sound good. It will sound better than not being able to do it, but it will sound quite robotic. It's okay if you slowly shift in tempo by a couple beats per minute. That's okay. That's natural. This is what natural playing sounds like. It's not okay if the tempo falls apart and collapses. It's not okay that if we can't hold up rhythm yet. We need to be able to provide that rhythmic context whilst also playing the guitar and playing these melodies and harmonies and cool riffs. So stay disciplined. Every time you pick up the instrument, I want you to be tapping your foot. Okay? If you really want to improve at guitar, you're here to learn, make sure that you do this for me, right? Otherwise, there's no point you being on this channel, right? You need to do this in order to become a better musician and improve on your instrument. And you'll find that you'll be able to sound amazing with even the simplest guitar parts. Like, even if you're just playing a chord, you can just like make people sound think you sound really impressive by just playing a G chord, by just going. Right, you can just play chords and you can have fun with the rhythm. It will be enjoyable to do that. I think most people find playing rhythm really boring. It's because they don't have to lock in with a groove. They don't know how to provide that rhythmic context, right? And you're going to be such a better musician when you play in other bands, when you can provide rhythm for other people. It's going to be so relaxing to play around you. You're going to be the best band member in the group. And again, people that don't know how to play music, you'll sound really impressive because they have something they can follow along to while you're playing music for them. And again, that's rhythm. They follow along, they nod their head, they tap their foot to a beat. You have to provide them with a beat. Again, no one cares about your flashy guitar solos and your really cool licks and phrases that you can do, the way that you can run up and down a scale really fast. No one really cares about that, but they care if you can do it to a good rhythm and they can dance along to it and they can move around and there's good energy to it, and the energy comes from rhythm. So if you don't sound good with simple ideas, if you can't play simple ideas with good rhythm, you're never going to be able to play those complex ideas with good rhythm as well. So we need to focus on rhythm as guitarists. So yeah, this has been how I got good at guitar. I want you to be able to go from intermediate to advanced without having to pay for a degree like I did. And if you want to progress faster in just 1 month than the past year you've been practicing, we can work one-on-one together to improve you and help you reach those goals. So again, if that sounds interesting to you, check the link in the description. And again, this is some nice comments from you guys. I love this. Thank you for posting these. I'm going to be posting more when you guys comment more. Also, some kind words from my student and the motto of this channel: education is more valuable than entertainment. This is an educational channel, not an entertainment channel. So again, thank you for the support recently. Just recently hit 500 subscribers. Very kind of you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for keeping this running, and respect for making it to the end. Again, if you want more high quality guides, subscribe for more. Also, if you want to message me any questions, ask for any advice, follow me on Instagram. Take care.